Greetings and welcome to episode 239. I almost said 39. Episode 239 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly video game podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, joined this week by the glorious one. I love your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Mr. Dafford Moody. How you doing?
It's Friday. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means indeed. It's time to bitch about some developers.
I feel like...
But I am overall well. How are you, Amy?
I'm good. I like this. This is like 239 episodes into this podcast. And like all of the other podcasty type videos we've done in the past, I've never had a catchphrase before. You've brought something new.
Well, I'll say this right now. It is in honor of somebody who I did not know, but I respected the hell out of in something that I was a fan of. So that's why. If you know what it is, or if you know wrestling, you will know what this is about. I'll say that.
I don't really know wrestling, but I like it. It's good. I only know The Rock, and that's not a rock thing. I just want to know what he's cooking at all times, because he never says.
$1 billion movie half the time.
He never says. He always asks. But you know, when you say when he's like, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" and I'm always like, "No, what are you cooking?" But he never tells me.
Because he'll just say, "It doesn't matter," or something like that.
Yeah, and then you just fucking, I don't know, what's a wrestling movie? Suplexes, yeah.
Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle.
Did The Rock have like a signature move?
Yeah, the rock bottom.
The Rock
people's elbow.
The Rock bottom. Okay. Oh, is that where he goes like ba ba, and then he goes ba? I don't know. Drops on him.
The rock bottom was the main finisher. Well, no, his main finisher was the people's elbow, but the one he used the most was the rock bottom because it was the easiest one to utilize. Basically, it was an excellent finish. When I was a kid playing with my friends, playing wrestling and everything like that, I always used the rock bottom.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you seriously injure anyone?
No.
Oh.
No, actually. No.
Not
I
even
had to
anyone,
think about that. Yeah.
Not even anyone who deserved it. Like.
No.
Coming for you.
But if they deserved it, I would have done something different. So
coming for you, Simon. Rock bottom, motherfucker, and then just destroy
the thing is, that means they would have to be knocked out, laid on the ground, and then I would have to run side to side, and then go on them.
Don't see the problem with that.
There is a problem because they probably wouldn't be knocked out.
The best news of the week, though, before we get into the podcast, is my Bloodborne t-shirt finally came. Look, it's my Bloodborne t-shirt.
Fabulous.
It finally arrived. I didn't know if it was ever going to get to you.
It is a pretty shirt. There's no doubt about it, Amy.
It is.
You do like yourself your bit of Bloodborne.
How would you know? How does anyone know that? How would anybody know that? Fucking
How
Jesus.
would we know? But now, even though you can't see, even though they're not lit, you can see Thor sticking his axe into Thanos.
Nice.
That sounded wrong.
It did, but
then you've got Baby Yoda, or now Grogu, and Mando, right there, be poking his face. That sounds even more wrong.
Poke.
And poke. You can't miss it. Spider-Man. All Might.
I know that one. I understood that reference.
I did. I understood that reference. Cool, yeah. Apparently, Chris Evans is returning as well, so I don't know much about that. But there was a movie podcast out there to talk about it, but mine's on hiatus, so it's all right.
Oh. We'll bring it back whenever you're feeling it.
Yeah, when I'm ready.
But this is the Words About Games podcast, where every single week we discuss news and announcements from around the games industry and gaming culture. If you read the headlines or the titles of these videos, we promise we don't just talk about one thing over and over again. But in this week's episode, we discuss CD Projekt Red. Again.
This is honestly not our fault.
This isn't our fault. They need to. Actually, I'll save it for the rest of the podcast. We also talk about the newly formed Lucasfilm Games and the announcements that have followed, including an Indiana Jones game and a new Star Wars game. And we talk about a bunch of other stuff. We'll also tell you what games are coming out next week. We'll give you our picks of the week. And then we'll do OpenCritic head-to-head, where we guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. OpenCritic head-to-head's back, Mooney. It's back.
Yeah. Brilliant.
It's back. It was off for like a week.
Fabulous. Time for me to defend my title.
I'm not going to lie. Fantasy Critic already has me nervous. I can't pick the game, and I was like, game's not coming out. Video's not even out yet. And it's like, oh, that game's definitely coming out. I'm like, oh, no. I've already
Oh,
made
shit.
a
Yeah, I didn't even think about that either. I didn't think about that. Oh, Smeg.
I've already made a mistake, Moody. It's not good. I've got a championship to defend. I was so smug about winning. I can't lose this year.
You were pretty smug.
I'll never hear the end of it.
You wouldn't. I won't lie. Like you wouldn't either. Because you would deserve it though. Because you so smug.
Fucking rinsed everybody. Like
but,
you got to like July and it wasn't even a competition. Like The Last of Us Part 2 didn't even get you close, and it was just like, I think I've won this.
I was leading at The Last of Us Part 2.
yeah. But yeah, I had like a million more games to come out.
Yeah, there's no doubt
like
about
Cyberpunk,
that. I was leading. It wasn't.
Like,
it was closer than you think it was, and
like,
you know it was.
Like I disagree, but I had Cyberpunk still to come, so I knew I was going to win. There are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube and also in the audio podcast descriptions. So you can click around and watch this podcast in any order that you want. Just watch certain bits. Watch the whole thing backwards. It's fine. We don't mind. We're just happy that you're here. I forgot that part. That's my catchphrase of this introduction, and I forgot that part last week. And I like to tell people that I'm happy that they're here, because I am happy that they're here. Despite only sharing my work in progress Bloodborne video with like 3 people, it's got 6 views, so someone really likes it.
I might have just refreshed it a few times. That's how you do it, isn't it?
yeah, that's exactly how you do it. Like, wait till the video goes live.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Should we dive in to?
Let's dive in to this.
Someone's fucked up when you get a message off Moody saying, "Can we talk about this first? I got shit to say." Someone's done fucked something up.
Because Moody's got involved.
Moody's got shit. Moody's coming in with the fire this week. I mean, I'm also coming in with the fire, let's be fair.
No, what
CD Projekt apologizes again for Cyberpunk 2077 on consoles. Did they though? This is from Brendan Sinclair over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, CD Projekt co-founder Marcin Nowinski has released a video apologizing for the state of Cyberpunk 2077 on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and providing an updated schedule for fixes, downloadable content, and the launch of next-gen upgrades for the game on Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5. Quote, despite good reviews on PC, the console version of Cyberpunk 2077 did not meet the quality standard we wanted to meet. I and the entire leadership team are deeply sorry for this, and this video is me publicly owning up to that, end quote. Nowinski said that the team was building the game to run on high-end PCs and planned to adjust it downwards to run on older consoles later in the development process, a task they underestimated. Breathe, Amy. Still gotta get through the story. Quote, every change and improvement needed to be tested, and as it turned out, our testing did not show a big part of the issues you experienced while playing the game. As we got closer to the final release, we saw significant improvements each and every day. And we really believed we'd deliver in the final Day Zero update. End quote. Nowinski also addressed the game's review situation, where the company sent copies of the game on PC to reviewers in early December, but waited until 2 days before release to provide them with copies of console versions of the game. Quote, we were fighting for quality on all the gen until the very last moment, and every extra day of us working on the Day Zero update brought visible improvement. This is why we started sending console review keys on the 8th of December, which was later than originally planned. This all happened while working from home with all the challenges resulting from the COVID-related restrictions. A lot of the dynamics we normally take for granted got lost over video calls or email, and we took that hit too, end quote. He did not explain why the company's non-disclosure agreement for reviews included a stipulation that they could not use their own video footage of the game and had to rely on the developers' B-roll visuals instead, OICD Projekt joint CEO Adam Kaczynski told investors just 2 weeks before launch that the game was running surprisingly well on the older consoles. Those are two excellent questions, Brendan. I'm just gonna sit back and watch the show. Moody, what do you got? What do you got for me?
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say it right now. Overall, this video is an overall excellent apology. Bar one thing, ladies and gentlemen. By one thing. And if this one thing wasn't in it, I would have probably been coming on here, literally said, oh, this was an excellent apology. We're still going to be keeping an eye on you because you still did bad and blah, blah, blah. But you didn't just do that, did you, though, CD? You didn't just do that, sir, at all. What you do, what is even interesting is that the one line that completely throws the QA team under the bus. Our testing did not show big parts of the issues. When he said previously, what was it? We messed up. I take the ownership, blah, blah, blah type of thing. I hold my hands up to that. But that one line literally throws the QA team under the bus. And I have spoken to many QA people today, like a lot. Some I didn't even know. That's how crazy this thing whole has been. And every single one of them I've spoken to literally calls bullshit to this company and what they have said to by throwing QA under the bus. One person I spoke to says this one perfectly. You either didn't hire enough testers, which is again on you, or you didn't give testers enough time, which we also know they did not, because they've been crunching Cyberpunk 2077 all of 2020. Absolutely all of 2020. It came out, what, September, October time, I think it was. I can't fully remember, where an article came out by, I think, Jason Snyder, I think it was, from not Kotaku, Bloomberg now, basically saying they've been crunching since the beginning of the year, especially when the owner or whatever came out and says, we're not crunching at all, we're on good track and everything, blah, blah, blah.
In all sorts, right? They're not crunch. We're not going to crunch. No, we're going to crunch. We're on track. The game was playable in January. It was doing really well on Xbox One and PS4. You know, there's tons of quotes you could pull from history.
Yeah. Every single QA tester calls complete bullshit on him here. And I'm just like, we all know QA testers can make mistakes. We can miss a bug. I'm an open commentary. I am learning about bug training and everything like that at my college. And damn, you can miss the simplest one sometimes. And it really is that it very is can be one of those things sometimes. But 9 times out of 10, especially if you're a very experienced tester, and that goes back to what that's the only thing I can think of is that if they thrown a team under the bus, that means they had literally the most my freaking level of learning, basically. And I'm a novice, and I know I am because I'm still learning this from college. They've basically thrown the entire team under the bus, and they just crunched them to the ends of freaking time, and they don't even get paid properly, ladies and gentlemen. This is the thing. When you hear the job is the bottom of the barrel, it is dubbed the bottom of the barrel outside of the industry. They get basically minimum bloody wage, and they're arguably the most important, one of the 5 most important positions in the games industry. That's how bad it is when it comes to QA. Now, I know you might be thinking, then why do you want to come up? Because I want to hopefully get in and make it better one day. There's my argument to that. This is a whole freaking fact. I'm going to go all
you.
I'm going to go
like,
I really am here.
No, seriously, it's like, because fuck you. I do what I want with my life. There you go. I just saw even better.
Not that,
yeah.
It's infuriating. It's absolutely infuriating because 9 times out of 10, people think QA testers are the people who not only find the bugs but fix the bugs. No, ladies and gentlemen, we do not do that. QA testers do not do that. QA testers find the bugs, they report the bugs, and they send it off to the coders or the engine people or the 3D people or the writers, etc., depending on what type of bug it is. And they for sure. Oh, and at the end of the day, they have and I also guarantee every single bug. Not every. Let me rephrase that because I can't guarantee that. Most of the bugs, most of the big bugs, especially the ones that were knacking in this game on Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, they knew about. Every single person who has been in this industry for a long time, over 10 years max. That's the lowest one I got up to. That's the lowest one I got to. Rest of them are like 15, 12, 17, 20 years who have been in this industry, all saying that big bugs they would have shouted out instantly unless their team is absolutely small or they are exhausted. And as we've already know, like I've just said before, they've been crunching since for the entire of 2020, doing 50 to 60 to 70 to 80 to 100 hours a week. Again, if he didn't, that one line ruins the entire apology video. That one little line. That's how. This is how crazy it is, ladies and gentlemen. This one little line completely takes out everything of his apology video. That's how crazy this is. This is how infuriating it is. Our testing did not show a big part of the issues. Bull! Everyone's calling out bull on you, and you know they are, mate. You may be getting people who are just gamers going, brilliant apology, fantastic, you're owning it and everything like that. No offense to you guys, ladies and gentlemen, you're not reading the underlining here. He's literally thrown one of his most important teams under the bus, and he's slapped them around. And they are already underpaid in the country of Poland there, and it's just. I love QA. I want to get into QA, and I hear nothing but great things for people who are there, who are in it and doing the things, doing the job and everything. But to see one of the biggest AAA developers who not only 2 years ago were basically flying high with Witcher, the show coming out, being an amazing first season, then the sales go up for Witcher 3, which is a fantastic game. And they've just slapped us all in the face. And worst of all, they've now slapped the QAs in the face. And I hate this. It's a punch in the gut. It was a punch in the gut to me. I've spoken to a lot of people today and literally saying, no, don't let it get you down. Ignore that idiot. You keep doing what you're doing and everything like that. And I am. I'm going to be doing what I'm doing. I'm back at college next week. For private reasons, what Jamie knows about, I've been off this week for personal reasons, but I'm going back next week and cracking straight on into it. I literally feel like I've got a spark right up my ass, telling me to get there and get this fucking thing done, so I can literally get to there and slap him, basically, and then find a new job after that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
just go into CD Projekt Red and interview with a fake mustache on.
Yeah, basically, yeah. This I'll say right now, this wasn't a very controlled rant or anything like that. It was all over the place, and I went in many different directions, ladies and gentlemen. But I've spoken to so many people, and they are so annoyed by this. I've got people who I've spoken to who work in Ubisoft, and that is a terrible company in its bloody self, which we've talked about on many occasions. And they are literally calling bullshit to them. That's how crazy it is. I've spoken to a person from EA. The only bad company I haven't spoken to is either Activision or Take-Two. I haven't spoken to anyone from those two. But two companies who don't have great reputations have literally called bullshit out on you, mate. Come on. That one line. That's the thing about it. And I shouldn't hold on to that, but I am. That one line.
Oh, yeah, you hold on to whatever you want.
All you have to say, this is the thing about it. It's a quite simple thing. It's a quite simple fix. A person I spoke to literally said, all you have to say, instead of our testing did not show big parts of the issues, was we didn't do enough testing. That's you still owning it, sir. If you said that, that's you owning it. That's not throwing the QA under the bus or anything like that. That's you owning it. That's fine. But no, he didn't say that, and it just pisses me off, man. It really did, Amy. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was. I'm going round in circles. Please talk.
You lit the fire. That's fine. Like, you never need to apologize for having an unrestrained rant that's all over the place. Look who you sitting next to. We did a
You
year
are the
of
queen
these.
of them, aren't you?
We
You
did
are
a,
the queen.
we did a year of these podcasts last year, and
Yeah.
I went off. You let me off the chain a few times last year, and I just went for it. Yeah, no, that shit. Everything you just said. Obviously, I don't feel as much. I personally, like, you know what I mean. I didn't obviously take it personally, but like, I agree with everything you just said. I think it was a terrible line. I'm not a fan of a lot. I'm not a fan of a lot of stuff that he said, because it's like, I mean, I didn't. So obviously read the articles. I just read it like on the podcast, and I read the FAQ that was underneath the video. But you know how, like, you just don't watch a Boris Johnson press conference because you just don't want to see Boris Johnson saying words. Like, I felt like he sent me this, and I read the FAQ, and there was a video, and I was like, I don't want to watch this video for the exact same reason. I don't want to see these people talking right now. Yeah, like, there were a couple of bits where it kind of shows the mentality of what the leadership, and again, I'm talking about the leadership here, not the vast majority of the staff who had no control over the shit show that was Cyberpunk 2077's release. And apparently, discourse continuing a month after it came out. There's some stuff in here that sort of shows the mindset of where the leadership was at. Like, they on multiple occasions refer to the PS4 and Xbox One as the old consoles. Like, guys, you were making the game for these consoles. Like, this isn't a PS5 Xbox Series X game that you were porting backwards to the old generation consoles for sales. Like, this was the console you were developing the game on. Like, why were you considering these the old consoles? These were the platforms that you targeted for release.
Yep.
What? Like, what? It baffles me. To think that's how they were thinking. Like, they built the game to run on high-end PCs and then adjusted downwards to run on older consoles. Again, there it is, later in the development process. So they built their game. And again, I don't understand a lot about game development other than what I've been told. On what I read and try and, like, research.
It's a crazy thing, yeah. It's like just knowing a little bit about it for anybody is like going, wow, I like my littlest thing knows basically nothing, but damn, yeah, it's bonkers. It
why
really
did you
is.
build it for the highest end platform, and then leave the downgrade? I don't want to say downgrade, but you know what I mean. Like, leave the optimization for the consoles till later in the development process. Like, that sounds like a recipe for a disaster that, you know, actually happened.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't theoretical. The game was a disaster on consoles. And the last part I really want to touch on, like, away from obviously what you've already talked about. I guess there's two. Like, the really quick one, it's brought up in the actual article I wrote, which is, like, it still doesn't explain why the NDA. I mean, we all know why they put an NDA out on people using their own console footage for visuals and video reviews, but, you know, not Adam, the other one, Martin Lewinsky, didn't mention it, which is weird. But again, like, he can lie and we'll know he's lying, because the reason was because the footage that people would have used would have shown a game that was busted up. But the other one is, like, there's an implication here that the game was fine on PC, and it was certainly better than PlayStation and Xbox. It was not fine. It was not fine on PC.
Yeah, there's still a game breaking bug on it, and I believe, isn't there?
Yeah, like, they've still got the that bug we talked about your file size gets too big. Your save file size gets too big, and your game's done. It's like the save file's done, right?
Yeah.
Like there's game breaking bugs, but there's also a lot of glitches and bugs and technical issues on PC as well. So don't go treating PC like it was some kind of perfect platform where everything was fine
Master
and
race.
and and it was just the consoles that were bad. Like
Yeah.
that's not true. That's
Yeah.
just not true. Sorry.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like no, what you're saying is completely spot on there. Like I do think this is a good apology overall. I think at the time, like I say, now looking into it, what you're speaking about there as well, is just like I stuck to the one thing that what infuriated me the most, and I didn't think I was
That's
properly
fine.
analyzing the thing overall, which is I still stand by that. I do think it's a good apology, but there are still fundamental flaws in it that we all know that you absolutely knew about the bug problems. You absolutely know why you only allowed them to use footage you provided. You absolutely know why you didn't allow the critics to have the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One version until 2 days the review were about to drop because you knew they were fundamentally broken. I don't buy any of the shit you are selling there, sir. Please, sir, can I return this ball of
Again,
shit you handed me? Because I don't think I want this.
I didn't ask for a ball of shit. I wanted some soup. Soup is great. But you know what's
Yeah.
not great? A ball of shit.
Uh,
No, the thing is,
one thing I do think. Sorry for putting in. I
no, let's
apologize.
go for it.
There's one thing I just feel like it's just very. Why this video does now I think even more about it, just irks me even more now, is that, dear gamers, this is only for you.
Dear gamers.
Fuck my staff and fuck the rest of yous in the development industry, because I am only thinking about the gamers who are literally now praising me for all the beautiful things I said, that we are still bringing you all of this free DLC content for you, etc., etc. Oh my god, I'm going to go into another rant. Amy, stop me. Go now.
Well, I mean, you've hit something there where it's the dear gamers thing. I mean, I hate that. I've hated that for like
It's patronizing.
I have a contentious relationship. I've had a contentious relationship with the term gamers for a long time for obvious reasons, and I've had a contentious relationship with gamers for a long time, and it's just. Now you see, like it starts off with the apology. Sorry, I want to own it. Okay, that's cool, but like reading like quotes from the video and reading the FAQ, like there's things in there which are like deliberately or maybe not deliberately, but either way, like masking the truth or like talking around the truth in certain areas, as well as like, sometimes just potentially not telling the truth. So like it's great that you said you're going to take ownership, but until you actually just start speaking plainly, I'm not really going to accept. Sorry, I don't accept your apology, and I guess I am a gamer, so you were talking to me, and I don't accept. Sorry. Try harder. But this is the thing with the Dear Gamers thing, is what CD Projekt Red are very blatantly trying to do is they're trying to regain that crown that they had before Cyberpunk 2077 came out, where they were the good guys of video games. They were the shining beacon of what AAA should be, and now everybody knows that they're not. And they're trying to get that back, which is why they're like, dear gamers, we're sorry.
We're gonna kick you in the nuts.
We're so sorry. We're so sorry we fucked you over. We only meant to fuck everybody else over. Not you, because we need you to sing our praises so people still think we're amazing. That's probably why it irks you, because that's what I hear when I see them talking like this. Because the best thing they could do right now is stop talking, and they don't seem like they're going to stop talking anytime soon.
CD Projekt Red, please stop talking.
Please. Give me a week.
You might actually survive this.
Just give me a week.
You're going to survive this. We know you're going to survive this, but
you're
damn,
going to survive this, yeah. Like, your reputation's fucked in certain ways now, and you're never going to get that back. But eventually it'll all blow over.
Yeah,
the next Witcher game
about someone else eventually.
The next Witcher game will have a trailer, and everybody who's most definitely mad at them right now. I'll be fine with it when that trailer comes out and the game looks very pretty, and we'll forget that Cyberpunk 2077 was such a colossal shit show.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you say, well, they'll forget. We won't forget.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
never forget.
We will
I
not
never forget.
Never. We will hold you accountable till the end of time. I just want to shout out two things though. One, Christina Grace Harper. Spoken to her a few times today. She's an absolutely lovely person. And talking about QA, she's put out a fabulous quality assurance article. We love you. It's on. I know you laughed at me when I said this a couple of days ago. People still use LinkedIn. Yes, us developers actually still use LinkedIn, but it's on LinkedIn. I will send you a link to it, Amy, if you don't mind, and put it on the thingy list, the articles list to go and check out if
Yeah,
possible.
I'll add it to the I'll add it to the description.
Yeah, and there's another one as well. It's at the game at the w at the gamer.com. Don't blame QA for Cyberpunk's 2077's buggy launch. They absolutely knew about the game's problems. I've just briefly glanced through it while listening to you at the same time. My brain's all over the place right now. It's an amazing article, basically just calling out their bullshit as well. I'll send you the links to both of these and everything. Go and read them later down. These are incredibly. QA is one of the the top 5 jobs that is fundamentally important to game development. If it wasn't for QA, there's literally a part I'll shout out in Christina's article thingy that she worked at PlayStation for the first few years of her career as a QA, and she found a bug that basically was in the UI of the PlayStation opening part that was crashing the game. You wouldn't have known any of that, ladies and gentlemen, because she found it, passed it on to the development, and they fixed the bloody thing. That's how important this is. Game development is so fundamentally like I have a little 30-second game I've created, which is not even complete yet, which you've seen if you've seen my Twitter feed. That will probably break a console knowing my game. That's how crazy it is because it's not rendered properly, and that's how it is. If you don't mind this apology, I have no problem against you whatsoever. But don't think it's a good apology because it fundamentally throws a department under who works their asses off arguably more than a lot of the other places do. And I'm not sure throwing shade to the other ones. Engine workers, 3D artists, 2D artists, the whole shebang work their asses off. But my goodness, like they do amazing stuff, but they also get help from QA, and QA helps them. Like, don't throw them under the bus either, because seriously, they don't deserve it.
I opened up the Gamer article. Kirk McKean. I've heard of him. And I was like, sorry, if you saw me chuckling while Moody was talking, I was reading it, and it opens with a joke which I found funny.
Oh yeah.
A game tester walks into a bar, dives into a bar, sprints into a bar, slides into a bar, crawls into a bar. That was good. That was a good one.
I've sent you the LinkedIn one on Discord.
Cool. I'll get that. There was also a story about the Polish competition watchdog investigating Cyberpunk 2077, but I think we really need to dive too much.
We're not surprised. We're not surprised.
No, not at all. That will come up on the podcast, I'm sure, in due course. If they've found the only part is if the organization has found that here it is. Should they find that CD Projekt has indeed been misleading in the run-up to the disastrous launch of Cyberpunk 2077, I mean, I feel like we've figured that out at this point. The organization could fine the studio up to 10% of its annual income.
Only 10%.
And or impose.
I know that's millions, but
that's
Jesus.
a lot of money. But yeah, it's like 10%. And or impose refunds. So they could force.
Well, people are already asking for refunds.
From what I understand,
the Xbox have just said, just take it back.
From what I understand, though, they when they talk about imposing refunds, they could force the company to refund people instead of just like you going up to CD Projekt Red and going, "Hey, your game doesn't fucking work. Give me your money back." And it would just be like, "No, here's your money back. Like we have to give you the money back." Yeah.
Yeah. They wouldn't like that. They wouldn't like that.
No.
And this is the thing about this is annoying. Just quickly, I know we want to get into another one, but like CD Projekt Red 2 years ago, you were arguably one of the best studios out there. You were flying bloody high. And you've just done little things that were already lowering little bit opinions of from people and everything like that. And now this one is just a gut punch. And literally, you now have developers against you. They are the ones who are mostly on your side.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red are great unless you like game developers, trans people, people of color, gay people. Basically, if you're a straight white gamer who doesn't mind the odd bit of transphobia or racism, they're the company for you.
I don't like any of that. So
I know you
good.
don't. You are. I know you're a straight white male gamer, but you're also one of the good ones.
Oh, thank you. Let's move on to something a little bit more cheery. Well,
Yeah, I separated the two bad stories, which with this. It's funny though because like the first two last week, and the first two this week before I separated everything out were about the same thing, but instead, Lucasfilm Games resurrected as new banner for all Star Wars video games and beyond. So this is a messy story because multiple things happened over the course of several days. So I think I've got like 4 different stories. And this was the first one. This is from Matt Wales over at Eurogamer. He writes, Lucasfilm is resurrecting the Lucasfilm Games brand as the new home for all its video game properties, including future Star Wars titles and beyond. Lucasfilm, quote, Lucasfilm's legacy in gaming stretches back decades, says the company in its announcement post. And with Lucasfilm and the galaxy far, far away entering a new and unprecedented phase of creativity, so will the world of Lucasfilm Games, end quote. And the rest of it is just history about Lucasfilm Games.
This is what you're kind of wanting in some sort of way?
It is. We'll get into that. Yeah, Lucasfilm Games was around from 1982. They made a bunch of really cool games. They were rebranded LucasArts in 1990. And then they were acquired and shut down by Disney, which prompted me to post on social media, well, fuck you too, Disney, and a bunch of my Disney-loving friends took very great exception to that because they didn't know anything about video games. And I was like, I
love Disney. I'm an unabashedable person who loves Disney. Amy knows that unequivocally when it comes to me.
Yeah.
But I will call bullshit on them any bloody day.
What are you talking shit about Disney for? And I was like, let me tell you about Monkey Island.
Monkey Island. I loved me some Monkey Island. Give me some Monkey Island, please. Hopefully we might get it, Amy.
We might. Who knows? I don't even know what the IP situation looks like for any of that stuff. But yeah, this happened.
I'm very surprised if Disney don't own that.
They should, right? I don't know. IP is tricky.
Okay.
But yeah, basically they brought back the name, and I guess this is like the Marvel games type deal that they've got going on when Marvel games is a thing.
Yeah, you can see Lucasfilm restructuring themselves like crazy, especially after the rise of Skywalker. We love or hate that film, whatever. That was overall it was actually more mixed than bloody Last Jedi. I think the Last Jedi gets brought out the bigots and assholes in the whole thing.
Because the Last Jedi was amazing.
Yeah. That's true. It is true. It is true, Lizzie.
The Last Jedi had things like themes.
Yes.
And metaphors.
Yes. Numpty Star Wars fans don't get that. I'm going to get backlash for that.
What subtle storytelling. I don't like this. I've got to think about the film I'm watching. Oh, fuck.
So going back to what I was saying before, my little rant there again. A lot of rants already.
You know, when you bring back the movie podcast, can we do an entire episode of about The Last Jedi?
I can do that.
I'm down for talking about that for like an hour.
I can do that. I'll get me, you, and Foxes on it. because I know the Fox is like Last Jedi, and we'll just completely just drool over the film. But either way,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So they are restructuring in a way that they are basically doing what everybody was basically screaming at them to do for the longest time: plan it out, organize it, and place it right. You've already been doing it with one of your studios, Disney. Why are you not doing it with Lucasfilm? It doesn't make sense. And
No,
it really didn't.
we're just going to give the whole license to one publisher. How could that possibly go wrong?
Well, I'm just meaning in general, but yeah. It was they are moving things in the right direction here. It's they fucked up, and we've called them out for it, but they are moving things in the right direction, and they've got some very intriguing things on the horizon here, which I think is the perfect
do.
segue for you into this next thing. Yeah.
They do, because almost immediately after learning that Lucasfilm Games was a thing, Bethesda is making an Indiana Jones game. This is from Andrew Webster over at The Verge, who writes, Bethesda's next project is a big surprise. Today, which I believe was Wednesday, the publisher teased a new Indiana Jones game. While we don't know anything about the title just yet, the announcement was simply a brief teaser video. It's being developed by Machine Games, the same studio behind the Wolfenstein franchise. Bethesda boss Todd Howard will serve as executive producer. The title is being made under the new Lucasfilm Games label, blah blah blah. While details are slim, Disney says that, quote, the game will tell a wholly original standalone tale set at the height of the career of the famed adventurer, end quote. The teaser video hints that the game will take place in Rome. And there's no word yet on when the game will release or what platforms it will be on. At this point, it doesn't even have a full title. I'm going to say something that's controversial at this point, but when I found out that Bethesda was making an Indiana Jones game, I was like, oh no.
I understand that. I really do. I was thinking this might go.
But
you might be very
yeah,
intrigued by this.
Then I saw Machine Games is actually making the Indiana Jones game, and I was like, oh, thank fuck.
Is that true though? Because their last two games have not been well received.
Their last 3 games have been Wolfenstein. Like Wolfenstein,
yeah,
Wolfenstein
but they got two. What, New Blood or Two Blood?
Youngblood.
The daughters.
Youngblood
that
wasn't
was
great,
not well received at all.
I didn't like it, but you know what?
Yeah,
2 out of 3. Two amazing games versus one game that wasn't great. Like I'll you know what I mean? That's a good batting average, right?
I won't deny. Like,
it's not like they've made a ton of bad Fallout games.
Might be a video coming on that later on, ladies and gentlemen. From
someone's gonna force me to make that video, right?
I think you're forcing yourself. I'm not gonna lie, Amy. But yeah, Machine Games. I have loved a lot of their games. Wolfenstein. Was it New Blood? Was it? And then they obviously got Wolfenstein, New Colossus, which I thought was a really good game. But yeah, they've done a. They have just great action games. I'm very intrigued to see how they're going to do this, because you would kind of expect the proper thing where you're kind of doing, I'm just going to say this, an Uncharted type thing where you're doing puzzles, but you're also fighting people off and then doing puzzles type of thing with a great character development story. I think a lot of people are screaming, kind of thinking what's going to happen and everything. We will see what happens. Who knows? This might actually be first-person shooter. It might be a third-person shooter. Who bloody knows? I think one of the things what made me laugh about this was a lot of people was like, but is it exclusive to Xbox? Was this done before or after they bought them? First, the deal has not gone through that yet. They're still going through the process.
So technically, before,
yeah. I'll just say this right now. I don't care at this moment in time. If it's Disney, I'd be very surprised if they're not allowing letting the game to be on whatever it wants. Like, they allowed Marvel Spider-Man to be exclusive to PlayStation. So if Bethesda have forked out the money, or Microsoft helped fork out the money to make this exclusive, that will happen. Either way, if it's cross-platform, it's going into Game Pass, so I don't mind. This is an excellent choice. This is really good. It's exciting. Whenever this is going to happen, I don't really care. Take your time. Don't rush it. If this has already been in development for a while, just because they couldn't say anything, because I think we can all suspect that Disney started to reevaluate their EA exclusive deal after Battlefront 2, ladies and gentlemen. I think we can all
Why would they
say
do
that.
that?
And everything. I think it's fair to say that. So what was that? That was 3-4 years ago now?
That was at the end of 2017, so like 3 and a bit years ago.
Yeah, so they've been probably doing this and talking to you, saying, all right, we're not renegotiating that type of thing, and we're gonna spread out the love. I don't care if this is exclusive or anything like that. I'm looking forward to this.
Like,
Bring it on.
yeah, I mean, I hope it's just, what are they called? Sony ponies, right? That's a thing, right? That's the thing. I hope it's just them that I'm whinging about. Oh, maybe it's gonna be exclusive.
No, I've
Guys,
seen like Xbox people going, "Is this exclusive?" Because
guys, Spider-Man was exclusive to PS4. Marvel Alliance 3 was exclusive to Nintendo Switch. Cyberpunk is practically exclusive to PC at this point. Like, who cares? Just
who cares?
A game is coming. It's being made. The studio that's making it is owned by Microsoft. Like,
Almost.
so it might be exclusive. It's going to be owned by Microsoft, so it might be exclusive. Guess what? That's what happens.
Yeah.
PlayStation fans, they're getting Final Fantasy 16 for God's sake.
First, anyway, yeah, they're getting that
Come
first.
on, all right.
So bugger off, and you're gonna probably get part 2 of remakes, Final Fantasy 7 remake first. And
everybody just needs to take a chill with all this doomsaying exclusivity crap, and just fucking be happy about games.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Let's move on to the next.
You can get Game Pass on your phone, and you can just go, "Oh, I'm playing Indiana Jones! Yay!" There you go. I've just solved the problem for you.
With the hat on and everything.
Punch Nazis.
You can play it on your phone while having the film on your big screen. Oh my god, Amy! I've got plans for us already.
Oh god, like I don't know, man. Like, I can't wait for everyone to remember that Indy fights Nazis in those films. Like, because then
Machine Games is definitely the right.
Machine Games is the right place to do this. The discourse when Indiana Jones starts coming out is going to be something. Okay, just before we continue, I need to do the thing where I reset OBS again.
Do the thing.
Do the thing. We did the thing. Moving on.
We did a thing. We did
because this wasn't the only thing we learned about Lucasfilm Games. We also have a new Star Wars game coming from Ubisoft's The Division studio. This is from Michael McWhirter over at Polygon. He writes, Ubisoft is making a new Star Wars game. The publisher and Disney's Lucasfilm Games announced on Wednesday that a new story-driven open-world Star Wars adventure game is currently... is currently in development at Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment, the Swedish studio known for its work on the Tom Clancy's The Division series. The untitled Star Wars game will make the most of Massive's cutting-edge technologies, including the Snowdrop engine, to deliver a groundbreaking Star Wars adventure, Ubisoft said in a news release. Yves Guillemot, co-founder, CEO of Ubisoft, and someone who has friends with sex abusers, called the announcement the beginning of a long-term collaboration with Disney and Lucasfilm Games. Massive's Julian Geraghty will serve as creative director on the new Star Wars project. The game will utilize the studio's Snowdrop game engine. Quote, this is a lore that we love and we want to do it justice with a game and a story that will bring both lifelong and new fans on an immersive and outstanding journey that will stay with them for years. End quote. Please don't let that last quote be this is going to be a live service game. You can... no, please. No live service games.
Well, you can see I'm mumbling my words. So I'll say this. It is great that this is going to, they're flushing, they're putting out their IP to many other developers, not just having an exclusive deal to EA, which we'll talk about shortly. And even though we have crucified throughout of all 2020, basically, Ubisoft for their terrible practices towards people of color, people of any minority,
People,
basically,
people.
and sexual assaults and abuse and even other things which I don't really want to say on here. We've called them out multiple times. It is good that they are flushing it out. They are expanding it to other developers because Ubisoft, love them or hate them, they are one of the biggest developers out there. Like I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla is one of the biggest selling games of last year, and I think even no, I don't think he did very well either because I think it was on sale like after 2 weeks it was out.
What's that?
Immortals, I think it was on sale after 2 weeks.
I don't know anything about
I can't probably remember, but yeah. The thing that makes me go, it's an Ubisoft open world game. And I'm just like, I played 2 of them last year, which I really didn't enjoy. That made me not want to play Immortals Phoenix Rising. That actually made me uninstall it last week because I completely forgot about uninstalling it. And I did uninstall it.
Oh god, yeah, I suppose yeah, you're right. Like my whole thing about like not playing Ubisoft games last year, I completely wouldn't. Like I don't know, like a lot of people are saying, "Hey, Immortals looks great." I completely forgot. Of course, it would just be an Ubisoft open world game, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing
Glad I
about
didn't
it.
play it now.
Yeah, like I know a friend of mine, Scott Sedman, he loved Valhalla, and I'm so happy he enjoyed Valhalla. It clicked with him so much. Like he tweeted out that he's played like 150 hours of it, and he's just completed.
Damn.
He finally did it. Definitely, I'm just like, that's commitment. Well done. I'm so happy you enjoyed this game because sadly, just didn't work for me. But my God, this like. It's gonna be Ubisoft open world Star Wars game.
I mean, it might not be. Like
That's true. We might
Division,
hopefully be wrong.
The Division 2 is an open world game, right? But it's not. It's not got all of the Ubisoft open world game trappings, right? Like it was different enough that I played a bunch of it, like without being like, oh, this is just Far Cry, Creed of whatever else they've Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
Again.
I only played a little bit of the first Division.
I didn't like the first one. I didn't play the first one that much, I should say.
Yeah.
The second one I played a lot. So.
And then I moved and I gave the second one a go. And for me, it was just very samey than the original one for me.
I mean, it was similar to the first Division game, but
yeah, it was just in Washington instead of New York.
It was a little bit different from, say, like Assassin's Creed or Far Cry. Like with this engine, with
change, and then now that change is now 3 games old now, where you're just like, all right, you need to change it up a little bit more now, please.
With this engine and this, the type of experience that the Division is, like, I'm hopeful that this will be a good Star Wars game. And might not be an Ubisoft open world. Like I look at the Division and I look at Ubisoft Massive and I think back of like the history of Star Wars and like my best case scenario that will never come to be is like, oh my god, what if they bring back Star Wars 1313? Massive would be a decent developer to bring back Star Wars 1313. Like I need Star Wars 1313 to exist again, Moody. It looked so good.
It is. I'll say this right now. With how crazy things have been happening with deals and other things that happened with that's part of Disney in general. Never saying never. It could happen. They might have a developer who was in mind for it. Who was the developer who was going to do it before?
It was Lucas.
Oh, it was LucasArts
itself.
Arts
was making
okay. That's good. I thought they licensed it out to someone else. That's why I was getting so.
No.
They might have found a developer who wants to do this type, bring it back type of mentality, and if they do, fantastic. I look forward to seeing it and look forward to hopefully playing it. But at the same time, yeah, it's like with this opens up so many possibilities, which is exciting. That's the thing about it, ladies and gentlemen. All of last year for 2020, I was getting excited for Star Wars again, or just Lucasfilm in general. And now them doing this type of thing is getting me even more excited for going onto the game side because like I enjoyed Jedi Fallen Order, and I know it's rumors that there's a special edition up-res coming for PlayStation 5, I think, or the Xbox Series consoles. But I don't know if that's been confirmed or anything. I've just heard rumors.
the thing is, when with EA holding all of the cards, which is literally since 2013, EA have held all of the cards.
That's true.
You knew more or less what you were gonna get as far as Star Wars games were gonna go, right?
Yeah.
Sims tie-in expansion packs, check. Mobile games, check. The Old Republic, which predated the 2013 agreement, check. Action games, action games, action games. That's what you were gonna get. That was
Check,
what you
check,
were gonna
check.
get from
Yeah, yeah.
EA. So like the fact that it could broaden out and be other things is great because like Star Wars can be a lot of other things.
Yeah. Like, just imagine what some of the other like Xbox exclusive studios could think up of.
Oh yeah,
What PlayStation could think of. Heck, what Nintendo could think of if they wanted to go for that, ladies and gentlemen. Like, seriously, like, this opens up a plethora of amazing ideas. And we're just thinking Star Wars there, ladies and gentlemen. They've got Indiana Jones already. They've got Curse of the Monkey Island and all that. And they've got so many IPs that they own that they could branch out even more into
yeah.
crazy new IPs and everything. And it's exciting. And if they wanted to, they could maybe, if they see an IP that was going really, really good, or they want to put money into, they could help develop that game up and buy the rights to it and just blah blah, you know, type of thing, and then just flush it out even more with it. It's like they could really do what Microsoft have been doing, like buying up studios, but they're covering all their costs, so they just let them work on the game, and they could do that if they wanted to, and that's exciting.
Like
This is an exciting time right
it
now.
is. Like when I thought of when I was trying to like sort of think of like what could a really different Star Wars game be like? Maybe just like some kind of political narrative adventure game where like set in like the like you know when everything went to shit in episode 1, 2 and 3, like but like you just have like this really cool political thriller where it's like you're not a Jedi or someone running around with a blaster. It's just like you're just trying to save democracy from fascism. That could be really good.
You could do a Padme game.
Yeah, you could do a Padme.
She was she was a political person in episode 2 and 3. They could really do a Padme. She was incredibly flushed out in the Clone Wars series, but they could do that even more and just give her her own game. That would be that would be sexy.
And you wouldn't need to draw from like you could draw from a lot of real life, real world experiences right now.
Yeah.
But what does this mean for EA? Moody. Well, EA comments on making more Star Wars games after Lucasfilm/Ubisoft partnership. This is from Matt Kim over at IGN, who writes, Lucasfilm Games and Ubisoft Massive announced blah blah blah. We already talked about that. EA released a statement about its future with the Star Wars brand following today's news that Ubisoft will be working on a brand new Star Wars game. Quote, we are proud of our long-standing collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, a company that's existed for all of 4 days. Probably didn't mean, yeah, whatever. Our talented teams have created some of the most successful games in the history of the Star Wars franchise, including Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and Star Wars Squadrons. We love Star Wars and look forward to creating more exciting experiences for players to enjoy. End quote. Earlier, Lucasfilm Games made clear that it would continue to work with EA and said that there were a number of creative projects underway with the talented teams at EA. One of those projects is presumably a sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order after EA made clear that the first game was intended as the start of a new franchise. Like, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was a really big seller even throughout 2020. Like, so there's no doubt that a sequel to that game is on the way. Like, we saw the MPD stuff. Like, it was still like in like the 12-month periods, it was still like one of the biggest selling games until like October.
Yeah, it really was.
So, like, that's obviously continuing. Like I never had any doubt that EA and Lucasfilm Games would continue to work together under this new agreement. But, again, and it's not like for once, I'm not throwing shade at EA when I say this, but like, I'm very glad that it's not an exclusive deal with EA anymore. I'm very glad that exclusive deal seems to be done now.
It does look like Disney and EA came to an agreement and say, yo, EA, what do we need to do here to separate this partnership earlier? Because I think at the same time, love or hate EA, they were under incredible pressure, and they did that themselves. I won't deny that, because they said we can get a first Battlefront game out in time for Force Awakens in 2 years. in 2 years. That I can only imagine what the crunch was on for all of their staff there. And they released a game that was very half-baked. And then they said, we could do it again, but this time we can release a story on it to be coming out with The Last Jedi. And oh my God, did that slap right in their faces. Not just because the story was shite, because no offense, it was. Was the egregious, disgusting microtransactions that they threw into this with all the loot boxes and everything. And they got a little bit of good karma back to them when it came to Last Jedi Fallen Order, because it is a good game. I don't deny that. I don't hate on it. I know people have it higher and everything, but it is a good game. It was a fun story and everything, and I am intrigued and looking forward to see what Respawn do next with that character. But they put so much pressure on their own back that made it. They won't put their want into what they were hoping to aim for so high that they sometimes missed it, and it just slapped themselves in the face. So basically, EA now, for me, it's like they are now like they can breathe. They don't have to rush out Jedi Fallen Order 2 or whatever the hell they call it in 2 years' time. They can take that extra year, because we all agreed that it needed probably another 6 months minimum to fine-tune even more and get it less buggy, because it was not bugging. As a buggy mess not a buggy mess compared to Cyberpunk, but it did have some glitches. Yeah. It was a bit of a mess when it came out.
Fallen Order was still very playable.
Yeah. I completed it with it, so yes, it was very playable still. But now they have that time where they don't have to hit the deadlines, because even Lucasfilm haven't released their schedule to when their films are really coming out. We know there's a Patty Jenkins one coming out in 2023, I think it is.
I've got it up because I was looking at IPs for Lucasfilm. Rogue Squadron 2023.
Yeah, and then you got the Kevin Feige one for whenever that is, and then you've also got the Taika Waititi's one after he finishes Thor 4. Oh, that
Jojo Rabbit
amazing.
Was one of my favorite films of last year. Oh, fucking so good.
Yeah, it was so good. So they are. This is just a breathing space. What makes it even better for all of them, where they aren't rushing. Hopefully, we're watching you. Aren't rushing, keeping everything all nice and steady, and working towards a good thing. Because at the end of the day, what I hear about Battlefront 2 is apparently it is now a great game. That's how bad it is. The game came out and was eventually all sorted, and now is a fantastic game. Apparently, it was re-reviewed by some of the big sites. What gave it like high 8s to 9s out of 10. That's all what we wanted the year. That's all what we wanted. Not 2 years after the game came out or anything. And now you can do that with Battlefront 3, which I'm all surmising that they are doing Battlefront 3. I will not be surprised. Because Battlefront 2 still made money.
We have to get through Battlefield 7, 5, 6.
Yeah, no, they were expecting that this year, or at least announced this year. But yeah, they now feel like they can breathe, as the pressure is not all on them now. It's now spread out between Ubisoft and Machine Games and any other developer. What's going to be coming? Because now, if you think about it, from next year, heck, we're probably even going to see it this year. When E3s come around now, everyone is going to be putting out a thing of saying, what do you think, Luke, what we're going to see from Lucasfilm? Every conference, we're going to be thinking, what we're going to see from Lucasfilm. Do you think we'll see something from Lucasfilm? Type of mentality now, and that's kind of exciting to think about. Us thinking, what could we see? Could we see a new Monkey Island? Could we see?
And I know the video's not out yet. It will be out before this podcast comes out. But what did we say? In fact, no, it wasn't even on the Fantasy Game Critic thing. It was when we were talking about anticipated games. What did we say at the end of that podcast? Which was, we're excited. What's most exciting is the things we don't know about. And we said that at the beginning of the week, that showed us that there's an Indiana Jones game that we didn't know about.
Yep.
And there's another Star Wars game from Ubisoft that we didn't know about. Like, this is what we're talking about, man. Like, there's so many surprises to come. And it's just like, this year, and like the next few years, to be fair, of gaming, like, already look great.
Yeah.
But there's so much we don't know.
And that's exciting. Just think. Capcom, hear me out, Capcom. Hear me out,
here we go.
Capcom. Here we go, Capcom. Star Wars, Dino Crisis. Just think about it. Capcom. Star Wars, Lucasfilm. Just think about it.
Here's
Just
one
think about
for you, though. Star Wars, Monster Hunter.
You could do that. You could
there's
do
the
that.
cogs.
You really could do something like that. Yeah, where you're not a Jedi, but maybe a bounty hunter, and you're hunting these animals down from different world. Oh God, hear me. Oh yeah, hear me.
I come up with some good ones sometimes.
You got that. That's not a bad one.
But here's a better one. Bloodborne, Star Wars. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So these next two news stories, Moody, that I've got on our show notes. Do you have anything particularly pressing that you wish to say about them?
No.
Would you be bothered? Would you mind if I skip them?
Not at all.
Okay, I'm gonna skip them then.
So what are you going to now?
So
Anniversaries.
On the weekly review this week,
Okay.
we talked about. You talked about. Yeah, you talked about. I talked about it being the Legend of Zelda's 35th anniversary this year, and then you mentioned that you remember that it was Pokemon's 25th anniversary this year. And then I said, I think I remember seeing something on Twitter about there being a lot of big video game anniversaries in 2021. And I will look into this, and I will get back to you on this podcast. And Moody, I looked into this.
My God.
And I'm going to get back to you on this podcast because it turns out, yeah, there was a thing going around Twitter that pointed out that some games series have some anniversaries coming up. Would you like me to read the list out loud for the benefit of everybody watching, so they can be on the same page?
Yeah,
as you
for
just
the
found
audio
out?
listeners, check this list out, ladies and gentlemen. Well, not
So,
for everyone, listeners. All listeners, check this bugger out.
In 2021, these are the video game anniversaries that we have. We've got Donkey Kong, which is 40 years old. We've got Metroid, which is 35 years old. We've got The Legend of Zelda, which is 35 years old. Dragon Quest is 35 years old. Castlevania is 35 years old. Sonic the Hedgehog is 30 years old. Civilization is 30 years old. F-Zero is 30 years old. Pokemon is 25 years old. Resident Evil, Tomb Raider, Quake, Crash Bandicoot, Dead or Alive, and Persona are all 25 years old. Pikmin, Animal Crossing, Halo, the original Xbox, Golden Sun, Devil May Cry, and RuneScape are all 20 years old. Wii Sports, Okami, Gears of War, Just Cause, Dead Rising, and Saints Row are all 15 years old. Skyrim and Dark Souls are both 10 years old. And Overwatch and Stardew Valley are both 5 years old. Moody, things we don't know about in 2021. There are going to be some anniversary celebrations this year, I assume.
Holy mother of God. Yeah, you're going to get Skyrim on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles. The hands-free version of that game, maybe. Who knows?
A version I can play it in OBS while I'm playing another game.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Holy mother of God, Amy. That is bonkers.
There are a lot of video game
Nintendo,
celebrations.
if they have things in place, they could have, at least for announcements, an incredible year just for announcements alone.
Yeah, we could be spoiled this year. Like, even if most of these anniversaries are celebrated with like remasters or ports or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's still really cool. But I look at this list and I think that there are, and I know COVID happened and delays have happened. Like, for starters, there are games who we know there are games due this year, like Resident Evil Village is coming out this year. Pokemon Snap's coming out this year. We'll talk about that in a minute. Halo Infinite's coming out this year. But there are games on this list where it's like, it could be time for a sequel or some new installment for, say, Metroid or Dragon Quest.
Tomb Raider I'm looking at as well.
Tomb Raider, Pikmin, Golden Sun. A Golden Sun port or remaster would be incredible. Like a Switch version of Wii Sports.
Yeah.
Would be like Dark Souls, Mooney.
I'll say this right now. The next Gears game got announced.
The next Gears game, the
Probably
Overwatch
won't
2.
come out for 2 years, probably, but I'll be very surprised if it's not announced at the Xbox conference. If there is an E3 conference here, Liz, then we still don't know about that.
Persona 5 is 4 years old this year. Like, it's been a while. It's been a while, Mooney. Like, you look at some of these games, it's like it's been a while since the last
Shit,
one.
we're getting an announcement for Persona 6.
Exactly.
That's guaranteed. That is guaranteed. Probably at the Japan conference.
Yeah, maybe.
In later this year, but oh my goodness, yes, Persona 6. I'm calling it right now, 99%. That's getting announced this year.
Like, I'm excited. I read
With
this through this and I was like, holy shit. Civilization 7, really. That could be a thing.
Yeah. Because what? 6 has been out, what,
6
4
has
years?
been out a while. Keith reviewed it on a podcast. I think it was in the same episode I did Gears of War 4. So I think it might actually be older than that. I think about 2015. Yeah, no, 2016, October 2016. So it's like 5 years old this year.
Calling that, you're right, yeah. So I can see a Civilization 6 announced, the new Persona announced, possibly the next Tomb Raider. I think we're talking about soon, but we're going to be talking about Pokemon soon. Excuse me. I'll be very surprised if there isn't some kind of DLC extension thingy for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, they'll do some stuff for Animal Crossing for sure.
Yeah. We obviously got Resident Evil, got a thing that's going to be coming for Resident Evil in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. I think that's gonna be like, here's some anniversary stuff. Like, you'll be able to get these Resident Evil games on your PS5. Like, maybe they'll finally realize they could make a shit ton of money by selling the original PS1 games, like, on modern platforms.
Maybe MC Fixer, I'm talking to you, sir. You might get what you've been wanted. The Code Veronica remake that you've been calling for. Oh, that's a great game. I don't deny
even just
that.
a remaster of Code Veronica.
Well, I think because they're doing remakes these days, I think if anything, it'll be a remake.
Both. Like, the thing about Code Veronica remake is it's going to be so far away. Like,
oh hell yeah. Like, we don't even know when fall's coming.
Did we not find out?
Oh yeah. There's rumors in the 2022.
There's
that thing before we finished.
Yeah, I think there's Village this year, and then there was another game next year, and I think it was 2023.
Yeah, we can't.
It was for Resident Evil 4 remake. Then there was a Hunk game as well. After that, I don't know. Like, plans change, so, like, the leaks are probably all.
There's a Sonic anniversary, so that means that tells me right now that Xbox own them now, and they've already got a game in.
Oh yeah, because Xbox are buying Sega.
That's gonna be the anniversary celebration. Xbox buys Sega. New Sonic game in the works.
We'll probably
where he fights Master Chief.
Knowing how, that'd be amazing. Knowing how Xbox do news, though, that'll happen between us recording this and then publishing the podcast to make our podcast hilariously out of date.
Oh hell yeah, that's no doubt about that.
Sony did a thing at CES though. Should we talk about that?
Why not?
Whoa, my microphone just bounced all over the place there. My apologies to anyone who is listening to this podcast. Pragmata delayed to 2023. Projekt Athia gets 2022 release window. This is from Matt Kim over at IGN, who writes, Sony's CES 2021 press conference was a touchlight on games, but a new sizzle reel did contain updated release windows for some highly anticipated PS5 games, including Pragmata, which is now slated for 2023. Pragmata is Capcom's new game that was announced during Sony's PlayStation 5 Future of Gaming presentation in 2020. The trailer ended with a tag that stated Pragmata for a 2022 release window. However, the latest CES sizzle has bumped the date up into 2023. The sizzle also confirmed some release dates for other upcoming third-party PS5 games, including Kena Bridge of Spirits in March 2021, Ghostwire Tokyo in October 2021, Little Devil Inside in July 2021, and Projekt Athia in January 2022. It also did Stray. I don't know if you remember that one. The cat game.
Oh, yeah.
That was October 2021 as well. I don't know why it's not in here. Athia is Square Enix's new game, which was announced without a release window. That's the one being written by Gary Whitta. Square Enix is also working on Final Fantasy XVI, which also doesn't have a confirmed release window. So Sony just low-key just dropping some stuff.
Yeah.
when no one expected them to really do much of anything. The Consumer Electronics Show is really cool, but not a place you really go for news about games.
That's true, yeah. But I think they thought, well, why not? Saves us from
Yeah.
doing a state of play and everything like that.
As
So
someone who
yeah,
makes technology outside of PlayStation, right? Like they were going to be a presence at the CES anyway, so why not
yeah.
why not just do a sizzle reel and say, look, these are some games here's that you already know about that we've already shown off. Because I think this is like a mini sequel to the thing last summer, right? Because like all of these games were announced at the or shown at the Future of Gaming thing.
Yeah, I
PS5
think
reveal.
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I believe so. Yeah, yeah, tick times and everything like that. Kind of, we're all looking forward to kind of Bridge of Spirits. It looks absolutely a beautiful game. Ghostwire Tokyo. I don't know why. I just still think that's not coming out this year. I don't know why. I just have this suspected feeling and everything. The Devil Inside, the Little Devil Inside. I completely forgot about that game because if I remember rightly, we both praised it pretty well when it came out when they revealed the trailer.
Yeah.
If
We
it's the
did.
one I'm thinking about.
Yeah, we praised it. There was a little bit of controversy that the developers did the sensible, rational
They
thing
owned
and
it. They owned it.
apologized for it, and fixed it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it looked kind of cool. Like the thing about games that looked kind of cool at the PS5 reveal event is they were kind of overshadowed um, by some of the other
by
things.
Stray.
Yeah, by Stray. Yeah, of course, by
By the
Stray.
cat.
A game where he plays a cat. Like fucking come on. What do we need? What else do we need? We don't need any of these other games.
That's true. That's true. She-Ra makes me want to have a cat and call her Catra. So
Do it. 100%. There was a trailer today for Pokemon Snap. A new trailer. And a launch date announced for April 30th.
fascinating. I didn't realize actually it was a trailer.
Neither did I.
I know they did a thing yesterday where they announced that they basically it's a whole year of whatever things they're going to be going through the history of Pokemon, and obviously they're also doing Pokemon music with randomly Katy Perry, which I was like, respect, go for it. Why the hell not? You are bonkers, and I think I think some of the songs I love her songs and albums, so I think she's going to be
Katy
very
Perry's
intrigued.
right.
Very going to be intrigued.
It's not
to
the
see
first. It's not the first strange video game thing she's been involved in though, because she did music for The Sims.
Did she?
In Simlish, you know when you like turn the music on the hi-fi.
No.
And you can like do workouts and stuff, and you can get songs that are like songs, but also like all the words are in that weird language all the Sims speak. She did that. I'm sure she did.
I didn't know that. I won't lie.
I'm looking it up now.
Cool. But yeah, like this is just the start. Like we're getting a new Pokemon game. If that's a remaster of something or a brand new thing for Sword and Shield, either way, we are getting something brand new. I think a lot of people are calling for Diamond and Pearl remakes, the Sinnoh region, which it would be absolutely epic because that was all regions apart from Unova. I think are really overall very good. I didn't really enjoy Unova, even though they do have some really good Pokemon. We're just like, okay.
So
That's
yeah,
Bulbasaur, bitches.
so yes, there was Katy Perry music in The Sims. The thing I forgot, there was a Katy Perry expansion pack for The Sims 3. Like, wow, I didn't. There was a whole expansion pack with like Katy Perry stuff in it. Wow, okay, it went deeper than I knew. I was not prepared. I loved Pokemon Snap on N64, so I'm excited for. It's like it was one of the Pokemon because Pokemon Sword was like the first Pokemon RPG I played ever because I never played any other ones. Because I never had Nintendo handhelds. So it was like, go play Pokemon. I can't really play Pokemon, but I could play all the weird spin offs they put on consoles. Pokemon Snap was one of. Pokemon Snap might have been the first Pokemon game I played. Ever. And I really liked it, and I've been looking forward to them bringing it back. And it's coming back at the end of April. So I'm looking forward to playing it.
Cool. I have no affiliation. I'm a Pokemon lover, but I just had no interest in this game. I never did. It was a really weird one.
It's cool. You just go around and you take pictures of Pokemon.
Yeah, it didn't appeal to me.
It's better than making them fight each other and wondering what
I disagree.
all the meat's made out of in Pokemon Land. Which is yeah, it's a thing.
Very tasty.
Didn't see a lot of animals while I was playing Pokemon Sword, but there was a lot of curry.
Yeah.
With a lot of meat in it.
Oh, yeah. Lovely jubbly. You gotta eat. They're
Um,
all vegan. They're all vegan. It was.
oh, is that what it was? It was vegan.
Yeah,
it was all vegan
vegan.
meat. Okay.
Vegan meat.
No, okay, that's good. That makes me feel a lot better. There's an English translation of Ask Iwata book launching in April. This is from Alex Calvin over at VG247, who writes, Viz Media is publishing a collection of interviews conducted by the former Nintendo boss. An English translation of a book collecting Nintendo's Iwata Asks is being released later this year. The 176-page hardcover book, dubbed Ask Iwata, is being released by publisher Viz Media with an April 13th street date in the US, while it will be coming out in the UK 2 days later. This follows the book's original release in Japan back in 2019. Iwata Asks was a series of interviews conducted by the titular beloved Nintendo exec that began in 2006 and run all the way until his untimely death in 2015. These chats covered a wide range of topics and saw Iwata talking to the people behind some of the company's most important hardware and software releases. These were originally done in Japanese but were translated to English and can be read on the company's website. Quote, known for his analytical and imaginative mind, but even more for his humility and people-first approach to leadership, Satoru Iwata was beloved by game fans and developers worldwide, the marketing blurb on Viz's website says. In this motivational connection, Satoru Iwata addresses diverse subjects such as locating bottlenecks, how success breeds resistance to change, and why programmers should never say no. End quote. Can't wait.
Sounds good. Sounds sexy. Listening from a legend. I don't think you can ask for much more than that.
No, I was a big fan. Like, I was a huge fan of the way Satoru Iwata just saw games in general. Like, and the way he spoke about games, about players. Like, nowadays we have people like Phil Spencer, and we had a lot of PlayStation executives like who were personable, like as opposed to they just got up on a stage and they said marketing things, and then trailers played in between those marketing things. And like I feel like Iwata was like the prototype, or he was like the blueprint for what we kind of take for granted now from a lot of these companies, which was he was personable. He was a person you could understand. He was a person you could like.
Yeah.
He was a person that spoke plainly but spoke passionately about video games. And I was a huge fan, especially of the Muppets episode of Nintendo Direct, where he was holding the bananas. Like, so he's such a good guy. So I will be looking forward. I don't own many physical books because I have a limited space for things, but like I'm definitely going to try and get a copy of this because I want one. It'll go somewhere on that shelf over there, along with all of my cool Nintendo merch and other merch. Also, Mooney, last one. Yes. There's a new Pulse Red Xbox controller, and I put this in here for no other reason, and it's really sexy. Have you seen it?
It is a sexy controller.
It is a sexy controller. Like, I had feelings about this controller. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, as someone who even has like a Design Lab controller, like that I made myself and chose the color scheme for, like, and I still saw this controller, I went, oh, when's that coming out?
It is a sexy controller. There's no doubt about it, Amy. Are you thinking of cheating on your controller?
I might be thinking of cheating on my controller. I already own 2 Xbox controllers, but yeah, what's one more?
I was gonna say they can share each other.
They can hang out. All 3 of them can hang out in a nice little group with my DualSense 5. Oh, I'm screwed. I'm screwed when they start releasing like new color variations of the PS5 controller, aren't I?
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
Oh dear.
You are screwed.
I'm so boned. Why do people have to make nice looking controllers? My bank account My bank account. Moody, do you want to do the next bit while I go off to do the Wii?
Yes, I will do games out this week, next week, whatever. Hitman 3, January 20th, ladies and gentlemen. PC, PlayStation 5 and 4, the X Series, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and Google Stadia. Death awaits. Agent 47 returns in Hitman 3, the dramatic conclusion of the world of the Assassination Trilogy. That's it. January 21st, Ender Lililas? Quietus of the Nights. No idea if I've said that right. This is PC only and it's early access. It is a dark fantasy 2D action RPG about unraveling the mysteries of a destroyed kingdom. On this soulful path, encounter horrific enemies against whom a moment of interaction could be fatal. Overcome the hardships of your journey and reach the truth from with the fallen knights. Suk, the Hero Slayer, PC only. It is a quest to single-handedly take on the Imperial Army. That sounds like Star Wars. Rescue the king, his king, from captivity in an action-packed rogue-light 2D platformer for the ages. The ages have got high. The ages level has got higher. Just so you know, Hades kind of raised it up a bit. January 22nd, the last game, Gravity Heroes, PC, PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. This is a fast-paced what?
Chaotically beautiful.
Oh, that's it. Chaotically beautiful 2D arena shooter set in the midst of a conflict between humans and synthetics. It is up to you to combat hordes of robotic enemies by controlling gravity, collecting power-ups, and picking up weapons to change the tide of the battle. I pick Amy. It's Hitman 3. Let's just be frank.
Hitman 3. Like, Ender Lilies looks cool. It's an early access release, though. Hitman 3 all the way for me. Yeah, like, yeah. I mean, you know, and you should know if you've watched this podcast for any length of time, like, my deep and abiding love of the modern Hitman series. So I fucking love those games so much. Hitman was almost my game of the year in 2016, like, which was a surprise. Yeah, it was like third or something. Even I was surprised because I was like, oh shit, like, I played it very late because I kind of played the first 2 episodes and then kind of fell off and then picked it back up and just like played all of the episodes 3, 4, and 5 kind of back to back.
Sweet.
Remarkable. Just a remarkable game. I didn't play as much of 2 as I probably wanted to, but that was in a period. 2 came out in a period of time where I wasn't digging into games all that much. Because I was doing things wrong and stupid. Like, I'm allowed to say that about myself because it's true. I was playing games wrong. Basically. But it's fine now. I fixed that. I fixed it. Moody helped me see the error of my ways and I fixed everything. So, we're all good. So, Hitman 3 is probably coming at the perfect time.
Sweet.
Do you have anything more? Do you have anything to add with Hitman 3?
Nope.
Cool.
I will be getting the game, but other than that, that's all I have to say.
It's a PS5 game as well, Moody. So
you're gonna be sexing that up on that beautiful console
full-on experience of a PS5 game
with the haptic feedback.
Imagine the haptic feedback while you're strangling someone. That's all I'm gonna say. Just that tension, and then you hear the crack of the neck, and then the tension on the triggers just releases as you just squeeze the life out of. Oh, we're gonna get put on a list if I keep going.
Aren't we already on that list, Amy?
I don't know if we're on a serial killer list, but
maybe not that list. Yeah, definitely not that list. You might be after you finish Hitman 3, probably.
After everybody watches my Bloodborne video, it might be.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Thanks, Moody. OpenCritic head-to-head's back this week, because there are games that we know of, that we've heard of before.
Yay!
So yeah,
Yay!
last week's result there wasn't one. We didn't do one. But this week, and the scores are 0-0 because we haven't done one yet. This week we are guessing the
Keep
open.
talking. Keep on talking. I'm
Critic.
gonna get
Actually, I
some.
should do the intro for it. Let's start again. This is OpenCritic Head to Head, where every single week myself and Mooney guess the. You tell I haven't done this for a while. Guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest to the score at the time of recording the next episode gets 1 point. If you've managed to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last year, Moody beat me by 2 points. I can't remember the exact scores. So I'm excited to get my revenge on him. He's really left me in a bit of an awkward spot here because the intro for OpenCritic Head to Head isn't that long. And I don't really know how to fill in the time here. Hitman 3 is a really great game though. Like, well, actually, I don't know that. I haven't played it, but Hitman 2 was a good game. Moody has come with a belt. Did you make a belt for yourself? For our audio listeners, Moody's just walked in with a wrestling belt.
To show I'm the champion here. Yeah.
You know what, Moody? I don't feel bad about being smug on Fantasy Critic anymore because that just blows anything I did out of the water. Does this mean when I win OpenCritic Head to Head in 2021 that I get that belt?
Oh no, I'm selling this.
All right. I'm gonna buy myself a trophy for Fantasy Critic. Anyway, I awkwardly rambled and filled in a bunch of time really badly.
Yeah,
so
sorry, I thought I lost
let's do the thing. I explained the rules. Moody always gets to guess first. Because it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't it? Because let's just say it, ladies and gentlemen. The champ is here. Ignore the name on that.
To be fair, you could go one step further than that, Moody. Like, you could say this is a podcast of champions.
This is the podcast of champions and losers, I have to say.
There are no losers here. You're the OpenCritic Head-to-Head champion.
That's true. You're the Fantasy Critic
Head-to-Head champion, and everybody else didn't win a damn thing.
Yeah. We are the champions, so that means I have to buy you one, Amy, so we can be the champions together.
We can share it later in the year.
Yeah, hopefully, if I haven't sold it.
If you haven't,
I might not sell it now. I just feel like it's now going to become a staple.
It's a thing now. This is
a
thing
hide
now.
this name on this because there's a name on it that people don't want to see. So,
but yeah, like we're both champions, and by the end of 2021, I'm sure we'll both still be champions of something.
Yeah, both be champions.
Because let's be fair, our competition in other competitions is proven lackluster so far.
That is true. That is true, Amy. But let's get into these picks. Hitman 3. As you all know, ladies and gentlemen, I do my due diligence. I research. You know,
I don't.
I have a look-sees. Amy doesn't half the time.
Half?
But we'll
half?
Well, I'll be generous there. Amy only did it once, I think, last time. One time she actually took a risk and rolled the dice, which really
literally
seriously failed on you. This is very heavy. I think there's a lot of hype for this game right now. And it does look good. I'll give it that, and there's a lot of love for it, especially as this is the studio is going to be doing the Bond game whenever that comes out in the next 5 years, I'm guessing, if not later, sooner. Hitman 3. I'm going high, Amy. I'm going 87.
87. Boom.
I think this is going to start strong. I think it's going to be a strong start to the year compared to Dragon Ball bloody Kakarot last year, which was just garbage.
I never played it.
Oh, it was garbage.
I heard bad things about it from all over the place, though. I am going to guess that despite... I'm in a weird position here because there's hype for this game, sure. There is. This game looks amazing. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I've devoured Hitman 3 content.
You hate that, gentlemen? She has devoured it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, when I like do this OpenCritic thing, right? I need to temper my own hype because like there are certain games that are going to be coming out this year where I'm just too hyped for them. I'm unreasonably hyped for them,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I had a habit last year of going high on those games,
Just a little bit.
and
Has she learned?
constantly getting burned for that. The only time I didn't get burned for that was Last of Us. So like
Well, you
and
kind of did because we tied.
we tied, which was fine. Which was fine because the game dropped even further after that. So like the timing of us recording the scores was perfect, and at one point it was on my number. I'll have you remember. So I'm tempering my expectations for the critic score, not for the game, just for the critic score, and I'm going to go with 85. I think
Gonna be
that's a
interesting.
nice
This it's gonna be funny. It's gonna land right in the middle, and it's gonna land
86.
at 86 and a draw right
We
off the
didn't never
beginning.
draw. We did never draw in 2020 until like June. So
Yeah. I was thinking 85, but I'm just thinking there's some goodwill behind this. I'm hearing really good things. I think this could get some high scores here.
like honestly, like for me, it's gonna be like I'm gonna love this game. I'm just gonna say it right now. But
Hopefully, it'll be the first game we review together. After not next week, it'll be the week after. It
yeah,
comes out next
that's
week.
right. Yeah, providing Boomerang. I mean, Boomerang and Royal Mail. Actually, mostly Royal Mail have not been doing a great job for me recently. So we'll see.
You two don't get on, do you?
We'll see. I have other games I can play next for that particular episode. So I'll,
That's true.
it's fine.
I forgot how heavy this bloody thing is. This is
Yeah.
metal.
I'm
here,
gonna.
like
I,
actual metal.
I feel like just waffling for the next like half an hour just to make you wear that for half an hour, but no. It's
Oh,
fine.
I'll hold it. I'll hold
I know
it
you
while
will.
we look down.
That's the thing. You're stubborn to the point of stupidity.
I know. I'm just a typical
You're exactly
man.
you're exactly like me, stubborn to the point of stupidity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I thought about doing like a Bloodborne video post mortem here, but I can't because the video's not out yet. So
That's true.
I might do it.
So
next
how
week.
about one last thing? Because how long have we got left?
One last thing. How long do you want?
It all depends how long we go, really.
With
Out of all the things we've said for Star Wars and everything like that, and the developer and the Lucasfilm thing, who would you say you would like to see? Apart from the ones you've already mentioned, what would you like to see?
oh god, I don't know.
I'll say right now, I'm just saying it because they made my favorite game over the last 2 years. I'll say, give me a Naughty Dog Star Wars game or something. That'll be, I'm just like, that'll be just like pure sex.
I kind of like Naughty Dog doing their own thing. I mean, I am scrolling. Trying to see if there's anything like non-Star Wars or Indiana
Maybe
Jones.
Oblivion from Microsoft. They could do something good.
You mean Obsidian?
Obsidian. I said Oblivion, didn't I? Yeah.
It did.
Obsidian. Yes. That was close. Starts with an O.
Close enough.
So here we go. So
Obsidian are busy at the moment, but Obsidian are quite busy at the moment. Remedy are quite busy at the moment. Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I truly don't like lightsaber based melee action game from Platinum Games would certainly be interesting.
Yeah.
Or like a Warriors style Star Wars game, like Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors type game, where you're a Jedi and you're just fucking destroying like thousands of clones or droids, depending or whatever, you know. Like I think that would be really cool too. Like I say, the one big brain idea I had was literally like make a political thriller set before the fall of the Republic, like into fascism, because that would be like super interesting, right?
Yeah.
And also my Monster Hunter idea.
That one was pretty sexy, I won't lie. Jeez, I would love to see something for Curse of the Monkey Island thing. I used to love that game.
Yeah, like
growing up.
Like bring back some of the old games and not just like
Yeah. I'll say this, Willow. They own
yeah.
Willow. I would love to see a Willow game. They are doing a Willow TV show, I believe. That is a sequel from the film. So I would love to see what
Like,
they
yeah,
have.
let's get a Monkey Island sequel going, or like a Grim Fandango like continuation. You know what I mean? Like, bring back some of the old gaming IPs. That's what I say.
Yeah. I'm having a look at what do they own? Let's have a look, see here.
Star Wars chess, do that again as well. Give me like a really high fidelity, graphically impressive Star Wars chess game.
So I've seen Jones, Monkey Island series. Don't care about that.
I don't know what, but like Ball Blazer, it was apparently their first game. I don't know what that is, but by the title, bring it back.
On
the
Strike
Amstrad,
Fleet,
Atari, Commodore.
Monkey Islands, Full Throttle, Sam and Max. I don't think they'll own that IP anymore.
No, they don't. Sam & Max is a different, separate thing. Good game. They made some good Sam.
I forgot they owned the Grim Fandango franchise.
They made some good Sam & Max games. Telltale, I think it was. Made some really good Sam & Max games.
They got a few things there, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be exciting to see what they can do here. Like they also, if they wanted to, if they maybe go out and buy some free a new IP or something and build it up or something, or heck, even this, ladies and gentlemen, create a new IP. They could do that. They've got some incredible talent. I know Lucasfilm is mostly thought of as Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars, but they are more than just that and everything. So, looking forward to it. Also, quickly, I just saw rumors, which basically which I was talking about earlier. Switch looks like they are going to be getting a Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl remake in 2021, and apparently the reveal is coming soon, probably February.
All right, well, we'll hold fire on that for the.
That'll be that'll be pretty sick. Oh, imagine what Chimchar looks like and is in final form Infernape. Oh, Staraptor, arguably the best normal bird Pokemon, flying type Pokemon out there. It's getting sexy. I mean, it's getting sexy.
I'll take your word for it.
Here.
Yeah, that's gonna do it. Bring back Star Wars 13. Let's take the fuck out of here.
Get the
fuck out of here. Is your closing statements?
As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the champ is here, but also I'm joined by another champ as always, the great Kate Alexander. But we are banging out here as I am, David Mark Moody, your OpenCritic champion. But let's go to our Fantasy Critic champion.
Watch my Bloodborne video. It's coming out next week. It's really good, I think.
You up so perfectly there.
That's what I wanted to say. Like, sue me. Don't sue me.
Ignore the name here. Ignore the name. It says Hogan. I can't do anything about that.
All right.
It's not my fault he's racist now.
No, that's Hogan's fault. I feel like we had this discussion once. Yeah, we'll be back on Monday. We'll be doing a podcast. I'm not sure what we're doing. We haven't really nailed it down. We're not reviewing any games on the weekly review because there aren't any, but we have a couple of ideas. We should really pick one.
Pick one while off air now.
While off air now. And then next week with the normal podcast. So, yeah, cool. See you then. Have a great week. Bye.
Peace out, everybody.